How's it going, fam? Welcome back to Erica's EDC, and today I'm going to do something I really don't want to do. We're going to sharpen a knife that does not need to be sharpened. We are going to do CPM 15V. I've been battling with this, trying to decide whether I wanted to sharpen it or not. It doesn't need it, but I guess we really can't complete the review until we do it. So let's get this cleaned off and get this over with. This breaks my heart. I do not like sharpening knives that don't need to be sharpened, but everyone is asking for it. So we will make the people happy. I'm going to use some mineral spirits. This is the first time I've ever cleaned this knife since testing it. So I guess we'll see what the blade looks like. You guys saw how gross it was in the review. Or I guess I should say the nearly full review. All sorts of patina and gunk on it, but we will see what it looks like cleaned up for the first time. Then we'll throw it on the stones, on the strop, and see what happens. Some of this venison is really caked on here. But we've got it clean for the most part. You can also use acetone. You can use, Dawn dish soap and a sponge. I might actually have to scrub that a little bit with a sponge. One moment, caller. Just do this real quick and see if we can get that crap off of there. Curious to see how this looks cleaned up because it looked really gross in the review after a month of using it. But I wonder if that's all just surface stuff, Looks like it was. Wow. That cleaned up very nice. Man, you guys remember how gross that was in the review? It looks like it's unused now. Look how pretty that is. No rust, no pitting, nothing after a whole month. All right, enough talk. Edge check beforehand. Does not need to be sharpened, but the people want it. So let's dull this first. This is a 600 grit diamond stone. DMT, and I will explain why I chose these materials in a moment. I just want to make sure we're nice and dull. Yeah, that feels that's dull. That is cutting with simply the geometry. Okay, so we're going to use a 600 grit DMT stone. I'm not messing around with any Japanese water stones or anything like the last sharpening video because that was a nightmare. 14.6% vanadium. That is the hardest carbide forming composition you can get, really. Vanadium carbides are the hardest, iron are the softest. This has 14.6% vanadium to form a bunch of really hard carbides, okay? So we're not messing around. We're doing diamonds. 600 grit should be good. And then we're going to go on to a double-sided strop. We will probably just use the 3 micron. It's gunny juice. It is diamond emulsion spray, whatever. We're using all synthetic today, boys. All diamonds. I'm not messing around. That last video was a nightmare doing John's S45, which was custom done, and I tried to use ceramic and it was an absolute nightmare. It was just way too hard. So I'm gonna see if we can do just one stone, one strop today. Already got a burr. Oh my Lord. Already got a really nice burr. And that stone is working beautifully on this 15V. Now I had made a hypothesis that this would be extremely easy to sharpen. So I'm curious to see if I'm oh my gosh, guys. Guys and girls and aliens. This is a dream. Good Lordy mama. Oh, dude. That burr feels incredible. Now, the only thing I'm doing here, we already have a burr. What I'm trying to do is just even this scratch pattern out a little bit. You can definitely see the inconsistencies in that pattern. You can see where the stone has completely removed the factory pattern, and then you can still see where we have some ripples from that original pattern. So all I'm trying to do right now is just even that out a little bit. Not a big deal, and I probably will not perfect it, just to keep the video a little more palatable in terms of time. I don't want to go over like 40 minutes. This is disturbingly nice on the stone. Just trying to get up in that heel area, the ricasso area. Just want to get up in there. Wow. This is one of the most responsive steels I've ever sharpened. Oh my goodness. You can just feel everything. This is not skating across the stone at all. I have the perfect amount of resistance. Wow. And that burr does not feel overly heavy. This is, oh man, this is literally like a sharpener's dream. That's gorgeous. Okay, so I am going to flip. I just want to knock that burr off before I flip. I'm just gonna run it through the corner of this actually, and we're just gonna try this method. Generally, I do 1 or 2 stropping strokes away from myself on the stone to knock that burr off. But this time, because that edge is so fine, I'm gonna see if I can kind of knock it off a little bit on this. Still hanging on there. That might not be good enough. Let me see if I can, I don't know if that's gonna, nope. It is way too strong. Okay, so we are gonna do what I typically do, which is just a couple of stropping motions on the stone with just the weight of the knife. I know I'm using my right hand here, but it's to simply guide it. Okay, yep, we're good. Now we're gonna work on this side. This is unbelievably easy to sharpen. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Now, I've said this before in a couple of videos. I don't actually think there's anything difficult to sharpen in the steel world. What I think it boils down to is time and supplies. There's nothing hard to sharpen, but if you're looking for something that will take 5 minutes, you know, that I would classify as easy to sharpen. And if, you know, a certain steel takes 40 minutes, I guess we would classify that as harder or difficult to sharpen. But I don't think there's really anything, if you have the right tools, that is literally hard to sharpen. You know, you just need to have the right abrasives and time. That burr is coming up, baby. That burr is coming up. This is more exciting than seeing your mom for meatball dinner Sunday. Oh my gosh. It's just so... Let me see if I can get this. So, see right there, right all in here, you can see where we still have some of that factory pattern. Right up in here. But look at how clean the rest of that is. So generally you have to pay a little more attention down in this area and use a little more, like it takes a little more time just because you're working up into this corner here and it gets a little thicker. So when you don't have a sharpening choil, sometimes it just takes a few extra minutes, a few extra passes to work through that area up in here. Which is fine. And it's okay to focus on a certain part of the blade for a few minutes as long as you even it all out after. Now, if I can get up in here pretty good, I'll go back actually and even it out on the other side. We're getting pretty close here. I may Dremel a little sharpening choil into this at some point. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, what I want to do real quick is even this out. This side is a little more uneven. I think the grind was a little heavier on this side. Yeah, it's a little more steep. That's okay. Probably won't get all the way up in there just because it's a little finicky, but that's okay. That is just gorgeous. So you can feel everything you're doing. Oh, that burr is wild. You can feel everything you're doing with this. You really can. I'm gonna knock this burr off again real quick. Some steels, especially if they're high hardness, will skate across the top of a stone. This one is not at all. Man, I really want to get up in here. There we go, we're almost there. Sorry guys, trial and error, right? We're not gonna edit this stuff out. might be as good as we get here. I just want to even this all out as best we can. This is just nutty. This is literally one of the easiest steels I've ever sharpened in my life. Although I feel like I'm starting to say that on every steel now. Okay. We're just kind of repeating that initial process here because, like I said, I'm trying to even out that scratch pattern and dial this whole thing in. This stuff takes a crazy fine edge. I'm going to do some back and forth passes in a hot second. Curious to see how this is once we strop it. See how it responds to the strop. I believe Sean is doing a 1 stone, 1 strop progression with 400 grit Atoma or something, or Veneve, something like that, and like a 1 micron strop with gunny juice. So that's why I'm doing the same thing, because I just want to try his method and I don't have a 400 grit stone. I just have 600, and then we'll do the strop. Sorry, this is taking a while, guys. I just like to show you guys the real life stuff. I think editing can just be super misleading, and I'm not saying anything bad against people who edit their videos. They look way better than mine. I'm just saying, like, especially with sharpening, I think it's kind of cool to have a mixture of different types of sharpening content on YouTube, because some of the super edited stuff can make it look like a progression was, 3 minutes long and maybe it was actually 10 or 15 and you can't see what got edited out. So I'm just trying to make some like real content where you can kind of see the troubleshooting, the stone cleaning, like how much material is being removed on a specific grit stone, just the actual real experience. I like sharing this with you guys as opposed to editing it into a 5-minute ordeal, and then someone might assume it's going to take that 5 minutes, and when they're at 25 minutes they're like, what the heck am I doing wrong? And we didn't get to see the troubleshooting. So I know it can be kind of lengthy to watch, but hopefully you guys appreciate the realism. So we are just dialing in that apex now. We've removed most of the factory scratch pattern. And then we will really bring it up to the next level with the strop if all goes well here. And I'm just lightening my passes now. And we will get to essentially just the weight of the knife. I'm actually thinking I could have even done with a 1200 grit stone, to be honest. It responded so well to this. It's like we've got just a little tiny bit of burr on this side. Right up in here. Nothing on that side. That's feeling better. Okay, I do want to just do that real quick. Super light passes. Good Lord. That feels sketchy. Still got a little something hanging on right there. I just really want to make sure that burr is as near gone as it can be. Okay. Let's see what we're at before we go to the strop. Got him! Jesus! Wow, okay. The strop is gonna make this, like, dangerous, man. Wow. Okay. 3 micron gunny juice. And I'm not applying any pressure, really. Just letting the gunny juice and this the leather strop kind of do its job here. And we'll switch. There are literally 25 different ways to sharpen and, you know, do edge maintenance, and every single person is going to say that their version is right. I suggest finding what works for you, because you can get so lost in sharpening content, and every single person is going to say that everyone else does it wrong and that they do it right and their way is the way to do it. Find what works for you. That's what I can recommend. Some people say don't apply pressure on a strop. Some people say apply pressure if you have firm leather. Some people only do trailing passes. Some people switch it up. Some people hold the sharpening stone in their hand, like Michael Christie and Greg from Deer Rock Knives, which I have done that. I actually have a little like Falkneven stone that I use for my traditionals, and it's way easier for me to sharpen small knives holding the stone in my hand. But, you know, other people would say that that's stupid and you're going to convex your edge and stuff. You know, the whole point is everyone has valuable information and you have to cherry pick what literally works for you and your use. No one is wrong unless they're literally scientifically spewing completely inaccurate opinions, you know, in a costume that looks like facts, you know? Like, there's obviously a science to it, but there are different ways that you can apply the science. So if my sharpening doesn't work for you, maybe check out someone else, you know? There are plenty of people with sharpening content on the tube. So right now I'm just kind of whittling down to our eventual back and forth passes here. And this feels great on the strop too. It's dragging a little bit in a good way. Like I can feel that the diamond emulsion spray is doing its job. I can feel that it is deeply polishing that edge. Now, obviously, if we wanted a mirror polish, we would have to work through the rest of the stones first. You know, you can't jump from 600 to 3 micron and expect a complete mirror polish. We would have to add a couple more refining steps, but this should give a pretty clean, crispy edge with maybe a mild reflection. And I'm more so looking for performance. I'm not looking to, you know, completely polish this edge right now. I'm looking to just get it sharp again because we, you know, kind of ground it into a stone beforehand, right? This isn't about creating a beautiful polish this time. It's about just getting the edge back on the knife and then recording how it went. Okay, I'm gonna just clean this up, my jeans. Make sure that we did not create a burr. And yes, you can create a burr on a strop, especially if it's an aggressive strop. Okay, let's see. What the heck? Sound the alarms. We've got a winner, moms. We've got a winner. Did you hear, or maybe you didn't because it was so quiet? Guys, that's nearly silent going through that paper. That is nutty. That is absolutely, wow. Look at you just barely. That's actually crazy. How keen that edge is, how sharp. Holy hell. That is one of the finest front end sharpnesses, if that's even a word, I've ever felt. That is just so crazy. Okay. Take my money that I don't have. You can take my mom's stash if you want. I'd rather have the 15V other than 15 moms. We're on a roll today with those. Okay, let's talk about this for a second now that we've done that. That was crazy. Let's just do a recap here. So, like I initially said at the beginning of the video, this did not necessarily need to be sharpened. Could I have cleaned this edge up and then stropped it? Absolutely. However, I mildly feel like that is counterintuitive, because when you have a factory edge on a knife and it has that factory scratch pattern, which is a little bit ripply, I don't always agree with stropping back the factory edge, because it's a little uneven and they can be burnt, they can be fatigued. So if my edge is going to be touched up from the factory edge, I would generally rather just throw it on the stones and remove that material, because it's almost like rolling a turd in glitter. You know, it's still a turd. Like the edge, if you have dulled the factory edge, it's probably a good idea to just refresh and start with a clean slate from that point. And I'm not like dissing Spyderco's factory edges at all. I'm just saying 90% of factory edges are going to be burnt and fatigued. So there's no point in trying to strop them back, because it probably won't give you the longevity you're looking for. In my opinion, you might as well just sharpen it. Remove that fatigued edge, start getting into that, what we call good steel, and really see how it performs. So I could have stropped back, I'm sure, but, you know, we wanted to see how it did on the stones. That was absolutely phenomenal in sharpening. Now you can see right near the heel on both sides, we're still going to have a little bit of that factory pattern, just because like I said, I don't have the time to fully remove that right now. We're at 32 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I would have to really kind of sit here and work that out. Eventually I will. Right now, we don't need to do that. But we can see the rest of that edge is nice and crispy. Came up beautifully. Extremely easy to deburr. Come on, where's the edge? The sharpening experience was absolutely amazing. The feedback on this stone, I'm not kidding, I could feel everything I was doing. It didn't skate, but it also didn't grab abnormally. It literally, these two were communicating with each other flawlessly. I could feel everything I was doing. I could feel where the edge was a little wonky. I could feel where it was a little thicker. I could feel where the BTE was changing a hair. The communication between these two materials was literally 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on the stones. Extremely, extremely easy. That burr came up nice and solid, but it wasn't, you know, breaking off and leaving microchips in that edge. I feel it was a very stable burr, and the stropping just brought it to a whole new level. I'd be curious to see how this works with the, I believe it's aluminum oxide compound, the stuff that you color onto the strop. I would see how it does with that. But the diamond emulsion spray from Gunny Juice, or Gunny Glide, whatever the fuck, it's Gunny Juice. This worked extremely well. Again, that same resistance that I was experiencing on the stone, that good resistance that's telling me what's happening, happened on the strop too. That is like a gift when that happens. Generally, when you're stropping, you're not feeling as much feedback as on the stone. This is a more supple material, and you can't always feel what's happening, but I could with this. And I think it's a mixture of the 3-micron diamond emulsion. I also think that this strop is firm, but it does have a little bit of that fuzz on the top that grabs the blade and holds on to this gunny juice. This is a strop from DLT Trading. Not affiliated with them whatsoever. They just do these double-sided strops that are super convenient and they're high quality. So the leather was working with that apex, and I could feel the refinement with every pass. I'm sure if we did the 0.5 micron side, we would have had equally fabulous results, 100%. I just wanted a little more of like a toothy aggressive edge. That's why I went with the 600 and the 3 micron. I'm sure we could polish this up even more with the 5, or the 0.5, I should say. But this is an extremely sharp, keen edge that is silently going ninja mode through paper. And that is right up there with ease of sharpening that I had with S60V and Rex 121. Way different than Rex 121, I'll give you that. Rex 121 is easy to sharpen, but well, there are videos on that. I have that on a different video. This was in the realm of easiest steels I've ever sharpened. In terms of time, response on the stone and the strop, overall experience, deburring. That was crazy, guys. That was really impressive. So now I guess we can fully conclude the review of Spyderco's CPM 15V with Sean Houston, because that was gorgeous. That's insane. Wow. 10 out of 10. If you have not purchased 15V yet, I highly recommended it, guys. Also, if you're looking for more context to the experience I had carrying this for a month consecutively, please go watch the review of this. I went over everything that I did with this knife. It went through a lot. And this is completing that session of testing. There is nothing about that did not go well for me. That was flawless. Wow. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Spyderco. Fabulous job, guys. Absolutely incredible. Okay, I guess that's it. Gonna pack this bad boy up, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Go use your shit. Learn how to sharpen your knives. I'll see you so soon, fam. I love you so much. Take care.